Hey guys, I'm Ragnar. Today I am showing you. Hey guys, I'm Ragnar. Today I am showing you Blizzard Classic, well, Blizzard's World of Warcraft Classic in the demo server. I made a little Warlock here to show you guys, so let's log on to him now. And as you can see, we're in the Barrens at the Crossroads, and we're starting at level 15. We've got the original world back here. As you can see, there's no Oldham down here or anything. Mount Hyjal isn't actually a zone yet. So this is all well before Cataclysm happened, before Wrath of the Lich King. So there's no Northrend, no Mists of Pandaria down here. There's no Outland. This is as far as we can zoom out. And all we have is Kalimdor and Eastern Kingdoms, and that's it. That's cool. However, in this demo, I think we're restricted to the Barrens, and Alliance is restricted to Westfall. So the first thing I'm going to show you is the spells. So what spells do we have? All right, well, let's have a look at the racials here. So looks like it's automatically giving us herbs and alchemy, which is good because they're my preferred professions anyway. But orcs also have axe specializations. So skills with axes and two-handed axes increase by 5. So for those who don't know vanilla, you actually have to level up your weapons like an old school MMO. I think RuneScape had the same thing as well if you've ever played that. You actually have to level up each individual weapon, like your axes, you've got to level up wands, staves, daggers, swords, all those things. I'll see if I can find the skills tab. Yeah, see here we got weapon skills, so daggers and defense. Yeah, you even got defense, so that increases by how many hits you take. And so yeah, that's just to give you an overview of some of the major differences. Our Blood Fury racial is a little bit different as well. Increase your melee attack power for 25% for 15 seconds, reduces the healing effects on you by 50% for 25 seconds. So it's like a buff and a nerf to your healing at the same time. It's very different to what we have in live retail BFA version. We've got command, so damage dealt by hunter and warlock pets increased by 5%. So this pet racial is actually very strong compared to BFA. BFA it's only 1%. However, like demo locks and hunters have way more pets than they do in vanilla. I think here we have only got the one pet. Dodge chance, we have dodge chance no matter what we play. You know, herbs and first aid do. Hardiness, resist stun effects, increased by additional 25%. So when it says resist means like you may actually resist and be immune to the entire stun. It may not even stun you for a shorter duration. You might completely resist it. So that's a thing in vanilla, which is pretty cool. And that's why you have gear with resistance stats on it. And we've got shoot. So if we get a wand, we can actually shoot stuff out of our wand that actually does a lot of damage. Wands do this in BFA as well, but no one ever uses it because it's so weak. However, in vanilla, it's the other way around. It's like the best thing to use if you run out of mana. Alright, with the orc racials aside, let's have a look at our demon tab. So demon tab is quite new here. We got the blood pack. Basically, it's same as what it does in retail. It increases your stamina. It's a little stand buff if you have your imp out. Fire shield, so surrounds the target in a shield of fire. Every strike against the target causes fire damage to the attacker, so that's pretty cool. Last 3 minutes, it's like a little debuff. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we don't have that in BFA, so that's pretty cool. Got the traditional firebolt, we do have that in BFA. 2-second cast time though, so a very long cast time, but I think you can talent to reduce that. And phase shift, shifts the imp out of phase with the world, making it unattackable unless it attacks. So look, it's kind of like a stealth, as you can see here. Yeah, kind of like a cat pet for a hunter. All right, now as you can see, Mark of the Wilds buff here I've got increases your armor by 65 and attributes by 2. So completely different to the Mark of the Wild that we're used to. And here's my little BlizzCon exhaustion debuff. So I get a limited time to play the demo, unfortunately. And yeah, I think there's like a little timeout. Once this runs out, I might have to wait an hour or so before I can come back in. But the servers aren't that populated at the moment, so hopefully they make this a bit longer. I'm hoping to get a few hours out of it at least. That would be nice. Alright, so let's take a look at the spells. So as you can see, we've got completely different spells for each specialization. So Affliction, you notice we've got rank 1, rank 2 of different things. So this is to do with how much damage and how much mana it spends. So Corruption, for example, causes 40 shadow damage over 12 seconds. It costs 35 mana, right? If we look at rank 2, it costs 55 mana. But it does 90 shadow damage over 15 seconds. So it's a longer duration, more damage. Looks like it's just over double damage. However, it does use more mana. So the cool thing about Classic is there is so much more in depth with your class. Like you need to basically, you have so much more to work with and customize and think about and plan to make sure your rotation is as flawless as you can make it. There's a lot more tweaking involved. In BFA, it's really simple. You just put the spell in your bar and you go Gusto, and you never have to worry about running out of mana unless you're a healer or something. But even for DPS, we have mana problems if you're a caster. So basically that's why they keep the rank 1s there. So if you have mana problems, you can use a lower rank of the spell. Does less damage, but if you save on mana, it may increase your overall damage. So something to think about. But there will be class guides and stuff when Classic goes live to talk about all these things if you don't want to work it out for yourself. We've got the Agony. So Agony causing 84 shadow damage over time. This damage is dealt slowly at first and build up as the curse reaches full duration. Only one curse per Warlock can be active on any one target. So Agony is a curse. It's not like a Bane or whatever is in retail. So basically in retail you can just put in as much dots on as you want, but curses, you can only have one curse. So you want Agony for damage, but you may not want that in like a boss fight or something with other players. Yeah, they might prefer you to put Curse of Weakness on. So damage caused by the target is reduced by 3 for 2 minutes. Only one curse can be active. So you might put the Curse of Weakness so it does less damage to your group. And there are other curses that we get later on as Affliction as well that we can put on, like increased magical damage taken, for example. So let's have a look at Curse of Recklessness. This is also another curse. It curses the target's recklessness, increasing melee attack power by 20, but reducing armor by 140. So this basically buffs the enemy damage, but reduces the armor, so they take more damage as well. However, these cursed enemies will not flee. They will ignore fear and horror effects. So you're also making them immune to CC effects. On a boss, this is probably no big deal because they're immune anyway, but like on players, for example, you might want to be careful using this spell. We've got our traditional Drain Life. So Drain Life, we got transfers 10 health every second from the target to the caster, lasts 5 seconds. So let's see how much health we got. We've got 383 health, 568 mana, so these are like completely different values. Like in vanilla, it's like the flatline value. This, it's like purely dependent on stats and what gear you have, what level you're at. All these things, what talents you take. Even your pets have mana as well, and there's even talents that can increase that, so they can do more damage. But yeah, Drain Life, I believe, has talents, and they have rank 2s and 3s as well. Drain Soul. Now this is a spell that a lot of Warlocks will be using more than anything else in the end game. It drains the soul of the target, causing 55 shadow damage over 15 seconds, so it's a very long channel time, but that makes it easier to drain soul shards. So if the target dies while being drained, it yields experience or honor. The caster gains a soul shard. Soul shards are required for other spells. We've got Fear. Fear is basically what it does now, causing it to run in fear for 10 seconds, which is cool. Damage may interrupt the effect. So if you're lucky, you might be able to damage them while they're in the fear the whole time. You still got the limit of one target can be feared at a time. And we got our traditional life tap, so it converts 29 health into 29 mana. So it's literally 1-for-1 sort of ratio with the life tap here. The rank 2s may make that ratio a little bit better for your health, but basically that's what we got to work with, and we basically just got to Drain Life to heal back up. But as you can see, Drain Life costs 55 mana, and this will only give you back 29 mana. So just be aware of that, guys. So yeah, a lot of hardcore management going on here. This is why they say Classic is definitely more challenging to play. Alright, so Demonology. Demonology is all about demons and utility, basically. So utility being Healthstones, for example. We got 3-second cast. Creates a minor Healthstone that can be used to instantly restore 100 health. Conjure items disappeared after 15 minutes if you log out. There we go. There's our conjured Healthstone. Now, as you can see, we've got some small bags here, and see this little thing? These are soul shards. I think I just consumed one of these because I swear I just had one here to make a Healthstone. So that's basically our little utility there, and this is why vanilla Warlocks will have to farm the crap out of soul shards to give Healthstones to their raid. There's no nice, simple soul well you can whack down and everyone just clicks on it. Here you actually got to make every single one with every single soul shard that you farm from killing mobs with drained soul. And then you got to individually make a Healthstone for every single player in your group, which also only has one charge. So yeah, the difficulty and grindiness of this has increased by probably about 10 times. If not 100 times. A lot more work involved with Healthstones. Alright, so Demon Skin. This is a buff. I believe it's a talent BFA, but it works a little bit differently to here. So it protects the caster, increasing armor by 40, and reduces 3 health per 5 seconds for 30 minutes. If we rank 2, increases armor by 120, restores 5 health. So in this case, we'd probably just use the higher end one, like that. Even though it uses a bit more mana, like it'll regenerate because we'll most likely use this out of combat anyway. We do have food as well. It gives mana back, so food will definitely have a huge value in the economy in Classic. We've got our traditional health funnel, and basically this is what we put on our pets when they're getting low in health. So when we get things like Voidwalker out doing our tanking, health funnel is something we'll use a lot. Basically what it does is give 12 health to the caster's pet every second for 10 seconds as long as the caster channels. I think this drains our health. I don't think it uses any mana, it just drains our health and gives it to the pet. However, it drains 11 health from us but gives the pet 12 health. I think it only drains 11 health every 5 seconds, I'm not sure. I'll have to test this out a bit later. And we've got our Summon Imp, which I went over before, and we've got the Voidwalker. So let's summon him out. As you can see, the summon of the pets cast time is super duper long compared to what it used to be. I wonder if this uses a soul shard. Yeah, it does. Wow. We need to use a soul shard every time we summon a pet, guys. So soul shards are like the most important thing for a Warlock if you want to do anything great like summon a pet. Now this Voidwalker looks pretty damn awesome. Like I reckon it looks cooler than the current one on retail. Like I know his textures aren't as good, but he looks way like more intimidating, like dark and purple. And he's got like these cool epic braces on, and he's quite large. Like he's big as me, if not bigger. All right, so if we go in our spell book and click Demon, we can see what he does. He's only got one attack. It's Torment, and this is his taunt. So as you level up your pet, I think you can level him up as well, and he will gain more spells as he levels, which is pretty cool. Alright, last but not least, let's look at the destruction spells. So we got our Immolate and Shadow Bolt. So Shadow Bolt in this is actually a destruction spell, which is completely different to BFA, where destruction's the only spec that doesn't have Shadow Bolt. So let's look at Immolate first. So it's like the traditional Immolate, burns for enemy for 10 fire damage and then additional 20 fire damage over 15 seconds. So it has initial damage and then it's a dot for about 15 seconds. And then you've got rank 2 of that as well. Shadow Bolt, we've got ranks 1, 2, and 3. I think this is one of the ones where you might want to use the lower ranks, I'm not quite sure. Just because you'd probably starve the mana too damn quick if you just spam Shadow Bolt at the higher ranks. But yeah, it's basically your traditional Shadow Bolt. It's just basically a filler spell sort of thing. Alright guys, that's the Warlock in Classic. That's all I can talk about for now. The only thing I got left is the talents. This is actually the part that you're probably all looking for. So you're probably wondering what talents I can take. So right now I've got 6 talents because I'm level 15. So I got my first at 10, got my 6 at level 15. As I get to level 19, I'll gain another 4 of them. So I think in total I'll get 10 talents. And I've got Affliction, Demonology, and Destruction. And I can put them in any one. Like, I don't have to commit to a single spec. You have a lot more flexibility and customization than what you do in BFA. So let's have a look at some of the talents I can take. So we've got Improved Corruption, which reduces the cast time of Corruption. We've got Suppression, reduces the chance of enemies to resist your Affliction Spells by 2%. Yeah, so have a look at Demonology. These will likely be pet and utility talents. So increases the amount of health restored by health stun by 10%. Improved Imp, so basically buffs your Imp's Firebolt, Fire Shield, and Blood Pack spells, so that could be very handy if you like to use the Imp a lot. Demonic Embrace, increases your stamina by 3%, so this basically makes Demo locks tanky, like they are in retail. It'll buff your health by a lot. So 5 points of this, 15% extra stamina, but your spirit's reduced by a lot. And what spirit does, for those who don't know, is that's your mana regeneration in combat. That's what spirit does. The more spirit you have, the more mana regeneration you get. So basically you won't be as mana starved as easily. So pretty much everyone will need spirit if you're a caster or a healer. And let's look at Destruction. We've got Shadow Bolt, so basically critical strikes increase Shadow Bolt damage upon the target by 4% until 4 non-periodic damage sources are applied. Effect lasts a maximum of 12 seconds. So quite an interesting talent there. Adds a little debuff to the target. And Cataclysm, so this is basically reduced mana cost of all your destruction spells by 1%. So when it says destruction spells, that's just spells in the destruction tab here. So Shadow Bolt and Immolate's all we have at the moment. So if you like to spam Shadow Bolt, this would definitely be beneficial to you. So what am I going to use? I'm probably going to just whack 5 points straight into Improved Corruption just to make my Corruption an instant cast, because it's a 2-second cast without this. You can only put a few in if you prefer to have the cast but just really fast. You can do that as well, but I prefer to just run and dot like I do in retail, just for the simplicity of it. Alright, let's look at the next tier of talents. We've got Improved Curse of Weakness. So basically the Curse of Weakness, which is the one that reduces the enemy's damage. You can basically buff that so it reduces their damage even further. You got Improved Drain Soul. So this basically buffs your mana regeneration if you kill targets with Drain Soul. Which is probably very handy if you're gonna using a lot of mana heavy spells. You got Improved Life Tap, so increase the amount of mana watered by your Life Tap spell by 10%. So this will likely give us it'll make the 1-to-1 ratio of health to mana a little bit better in our favor. It'll be like 1 to 1.1, for example. And Improved Drain Life. So this basically buffs out Drain Life healing by 2% per point, so up to a maximum of 10%. Let's look at Demonology. Next tier. I'll only go over the first 2 rows, guys, because it's just way too much to cover. So Fell Intellect basically increases the maximum mana of your Imp, Voidwalker, Succubus, and Fell Hunter. So if you want to go a pet build, have a really strong Voidwalker or Imp or whatever you want to use, Demonology is where you want to whack most of your talents. As you can see, we got Improved Voidwalker, increased effectiveness of the Voidwalker's Torment, Consume Shadows, and Sacrifice spells. So if you're having trouble with your Voidwalker keeping aggro, it might be worth retalenting in Demonology to buff your Voidwalker so he does more damage and his spells are more effective and he has more mana. And this will make him hold aggro a lot easier, because remember, Classic has massive aggro problems. It's nerfed hardcore the aggro, so you'll still aggro really easily. And having a pet as a Warlock gives you a huge advantage over most other people leveling. However, he can still lose aggro, so a few talents here and there can make a huge difference for you, make leveling that much easier and quicker for you. And then we got the health funnel, which increases the health that the demon gets as well if you want to keep him alive longer. Because remember, if he dies, you got to spend another soul shot. And Destruction. So let's look at the next two spells. So this one reduces the cast time of Shadow Bolt and Immolate spells by 0.1 seconds, and Soul Fiber 0.4 seconds. So this is probably a really good talent to go if you're going to use the Destruction spells. I'd probably try and spec in this anyway, just because you're going to be spamming Shadow Bolt quite a bit as well. And then we got this one, gives you a Destruction spell 2% chance to daze the target. This is very much like a PvP talent, or even just like a leveling talent. Could be handy. I don't see this being used in endgame PvE, but as you can see, the next row we got things like Shadow Burn and stuff. So Destruction is like more of your pure DPS row. Demonology is more of like, okay, I want my demons to be strong and I want to have good utility. I want to have the best health stones. That's Demonology. And Affliction's your traditional, all right, I want to have my dots to be strong. I want to have good drains. I want to have good curses. So when my guild needs a Warlock to put a strong curse on the target to reduce his damage, or to reduce his armor, you can be the Warlock for that job. So you literally got 3 completely different ways of playing a Warlock, which is really, really cool. It's not just a straight up DPS, there's a lot of utility, pet, or pure DPS, whichever you want to go. Anyways, guys, I'm going to leave it there for the Warlock video. I'm going to make another video for me actually doing some questing and stuff, and I'm going to start that right now, and I'll see you guys in the next video.